On October 23, 1889, Francis Calixtus O'Keeffe and Ida Ten Eyck Totto gave birth to a daughter, whom they named Ida. The O'Keeffe family occupied a 640-acre farm in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, outside of Madison. Ida was the third child, after her brother Francis and her sister Georgia. By the end of the 1890s, the family would grow to include 7 children altogether. An 1898 photograph shows Ida alongside her younger sister, Anita. At their mother's encouragement, Georgia, Ida, and Anita took drawing lessons, where Ida demonstrated a clear talent for the arts. In 1902, the O'Keeffes sold their property and moved to Williamsburg, Virginia. Following Georgia's footsteps, Ida attended boarding school at the Chatham Episcopal Institute in Chatham, Virginia, some 200 miles from the O'Keeffes' new home. She participated in the school's glee club and tennis and basketball teams while also pursuing art classes. The family experienced financial hardship in 1907, as Francis O'Keeffe's business failed and Ida's mother developed tuberculosis. Unable to afford school, Ida returned to Williamsburg in 1908 to help care for her mother and younger siblings. The next year, the family moved to Charlottesville, where Ida took summer art courses at the University of Virginia and completed high school. After graduation, she spent several years working as a drawing teacher in elementary schools across southwestern Virginia, far from her family. In 1918, Ida O'Keeffe moved to New York City to study nursing at Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan. A photograph of the 1921 graduating class shows her in the second row, third from left, holding her diploma. Throughout her life, she would rely on both nursing and teaching art as sources of income. Ida spent the summer of 1925 working as a private nurse for a family in Norfolk, Connecticut. She had never painted before, and she took this opportunity to experiment with oil paint. Her earliest works depicted still lifes and plants from the Norfolk landscape. In 1931 and 32, Ida O'Keeffe pursued a master's degree in painting at Teachers College in New York City. She studied with the modernist painter and printmaker Charles James Martin, whose style of architectonic abstraction made an impact on her. After spending the summer of 1931 studying with Martin on Cape Cod, she began her Highland Lighthouse paintings. With this series, Ida O'Keeffe began a decades-long singular study of geometric form. Ida O'Keeffe's first New York solo exhibition opened in 1933 with 35 works, including paintings and a diverse selection of works on paper. Her subject matter ranged from lighthouses and toadstools to Native American cultural objects. Ida spent the 1930s and early 1940s living nomadically, working as an art teacher wherever opportunities arose, and exhibiting her work at venues across the country. Her employment took her to rural North Carolina, Alabama, upstate New York, Springfield, Missouri, and San Antonio, Texas, among other places. After this itinerant period, Ida O'Keeffe arrived in 1943 to the quiet Los Angeles suburb of Whittier. She became an active community member, involved with local women's groups and the Whittier Art Gallery, where she exhibited work and volunteered her time. For the remainder of her life, she would focus on exhibiting in California. In the 1950s, Ida's health began to decline and her artistic output slowed. Ida O'Keeffe died in September 1961, leaving her estate in the hands of her younger sister, Claudia.